If evil had a face, would it look like a horned red devil? Or something more familiar like your own thoughts, or the systems we live under every day? What if I told you that the Bible-esque version of Satan and demons is far more mysterious, psychological, and systemically powerful than pop culture ever showed us? The birth of chaos, Genesis, and the spiritual backstory. When we think of evil, we often imagine it as something external: wars, criminals, monsters. But in the Bible, evil is rooted much deeper, beginning with a fracture in the spiritual world itself. In Genesis, God creates a world of order and beauty. Everything is declared good. Humans are placed in this world as image bearers of God, meant to co-rule creation with wisdom. Then enters the serpent. This creature isn't just a garden variety snake. The language and context suggest something more ancient, more spiritual. Later biblical texts describe beings around God's throne, cherubim and seraphim. Seraph literally means fiery snake. So, what was the serpent really? Think of Eden as a cosmic embassy, a thin place between heaven and earth. The snake wasn't just slithering in the bushes. He was likely a fallen member of God's inner circle, a rogue advisor, a spiritual saboteur. This entity tempts humans to define good and evil for themselves, rejecting divine wisdom. And with that choice, chaos returns. Humans fall not just morally, but cosmically. Satan is not a name. Here's something wild. Satan isn't a name. It's a job title. In Hebrew, the Satan means the adversary. It's a role someone who accuses, opposes, destabilizes. Think of him less like a cartoon villain and more like a prosecuting attorney gone rogue, someone who doesn't just challenge wrongdoing, but actively undermines goodness itself. In the book of Job, Satan shows up not as a red devil, but as part of God's heavenly court questioning Job's motives. It's subtle, cerebral, dangerous. He isn't just attacking Job's body. He's attacking the very idea that goodness can exist without selfish reward. So, Satan isn't just a being. He's a force, a perspective that whispers, trust no one. Take what you want. Truth is a lie. Demons, fallen council members. Now let's talk about demons, not horror movie monsters, but ancient cosmic beings who once served God. The Bible refers to the divine council, spiritual beings who assisted God as governance over creation. Some of these rebelled. In Genesis 6, a cryptic story tells of the sons of God taking human wives and producing Nephilim giant warriors. In ancient Mesopotamia, kings often claimed divine bloodlines. The Bible flips this. These kings weren't divinely chosen. They were born of corruption. Their strength wasn't a gift, but a curse. Later, Moses would label these fallen spiritual beings as demons, lesser gods influencing entire empires. Babylon, Egypt, Rome, places where spiritual darkness took root not just in people, but in policy. Real-life example, spiritual evil in systems. Let's bring this home. Have you ever noticed how good people can get swallowed by bad systems? Take Nazi Germany. Not everyone who joined the regime was a monster. Many were normal citizens, swept up by propaganda, fear, and power structures. That's how spiritual evil works, not just through possession, but through momentum. Or consider corporate greed. When a company knowingly pollutes, underpays workers, or manipulates consumers, we're not just looking at bad decisions, we're seeing the fingerprints of something darker. Evil isn't just a moral failing, it's spiritual gravity. And demons, in the biblical sense, often exploit the machinery of empires, economies, and egos. Personal level corruption. Demons don't just work on national scales. They also whisper into the everyday. The temptation to lie, to cheat, to hoard all, that is the echo of spiritual rebellion. Not because there's a devil on your shoulder, but because human weakness is a doorway. Demons, however you define them, don't need to crash in. They're invited. Have you ever felt like your worst habits had a life of their own? Like you're not steering anymore? That's the battlefield the Bible is talking about. Jesus versus evil, the cosmic showdown. Jesus steps onto the scene, not just as a moral teacher, but as a cosmic liberator. He doesn't just preach love, he performs exorcisms, heals bodies, breaks strongholds. To Jesus, Rome wasn't the enemy spiritual captivity was. When Jesus casts out demons, he's showing us that evil is real, but defeatable. That healing isn't just physical, it's spiritual. That the way out of darkness is to walk toward truth, even when it costs everything. His death and resurrection aren't just events, they read declarations. Evil doesn't win. Death doesn't get the last word. The takeaway. So what do we learn from all this? Evil isn't just out there, it's also in here, in our systems, in our desires, in our silence. But so is the solution. If the Bible is right, then spiritual evil thrives when we ignore it, and weakens when we resist it. You don't need to understand every ancient myth to live wisely. But knowing how evil works can help us break the cycle personally, politically, and spiritually. The devil doesn't need to shout to destroy you. He just needs you to forget he's there.